Hi, welcome to I Believe TV. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Javier Robles. We've been friends for what, how many years now? What, about nine?
Long time now,
Long
actually.
time, long
Yeah.
time. Met advocates, worked together. He helped me get a ramp on my house. He done a lot of great things. But Javier, the floor is yours.
All right. Well, good seeing you again, Richard, as always. Um, I got a few things going on. I guess since we last talked, I've built a pretty big Twitter following, so I'll get my Twitter address later. I'm working on a friend of mine's campaign for mayor in Highland Park, as well as teaching at Rutgers. I teach a class to juniors and seniors about disabilities and individuals with disabilities, sports, as well as the law. So, that's some of the stuff that's going on with me right now. I'm also in the process of getting a new canine companion
Oh,
for independence. So, hopefully in November,
right.
maybe February, they'll call me up for a brand new service dog. Because you remember I used to have Janice
Yeah, tell
a
them
long time
about
ago.
what the service dogs do for individuals.
So, Canine Companions for Independence is a nonprofit organization which provides service dogs to individuals with disabilities, with developmental disabilities, and their families. They also provide dogs for hospitals, rehab centers, things like that. And those are called therapy dogs in some instances, but sometimes they're called institution dogs. So it depends. If someone was interested in getting a dog, they could go to cci.org, which is the main website for Canine Companions for Independence. Service dogs are free of charge to the individual or the family. Um, Canine Companions receives most of their funding through donations as well as fundraisers and things like that. I'm actually on the board of the Northeast Canine Companions here in Long Island. And the Northeast region covers everything from, where Canada ends or starts, all the way down to Virginia. So that's the Northeast region. So if anyone in that region wanted a service dog, they would call the Long Island Canine Companions. But again, it's a great organization. If you want to know more about them, go to cci.org. Or, at the end of the show, I can also give my contact information, and you can feel free to email me or ask me questions as well. So this is my second year teaching. I'm teaching a class at Rutgers called Disability Movement Experience, which is under sports science. And basically, what the class is about is introducing, college students to disabilities, to sports, as well as to, what it's like to live with a disability. So in my class currently, when I first started it, I took it over from a friend of mine or someone I knew, and she had a different format than I do. I've changed the format somewhat. So in the class, I bring in speakers. I bring actual people with disabilities to talk about their disabilities, what it's like living with a disability. Since we deal a lot with sports, I also bring in people to talk about sports, to bring about different things. I'm gonna be also bringing in a therapist this year because a lot of them are looking to go into the medical profession or to go into physical or occupational therapy. So I'm going to be bringing in, a therapist as well. So it's good. My class has grown pretty much doubling like since last year.
Great.
I'm up to, like 65 students this year.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's double classrooms then. Normally,
Just one class.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's big.
It's a good class.
So, that's in terms of classes, that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm also, or I don't know if I said it, I'm going to be working on my friend's campaign, Bruno, who you know from Children's Specialized Hospital.
Right.
Um, and he's running for mayor of Highland Park. So, we want to make sure that, we start electing people who are progressive, who think about people with disabilities
Right.
in terms of, what they can do and not what they can't do, and,
Right.
stop looking at us as people who just sit there and collect Social Security checks. Where people like you who are out every day doing different things.
Exactly.
Like myself and like, thousands of people me and you both know.
Right.
So, we need to, as people with disabilities, think about why we sit home on Tuesdays in November during election when other people are making decisions for us.
Exactly.
So people with disabilities, and I say this everywhere I go, people with disabilities need to sort of wake up and say, where's my voice? And if they're not voting, they don't have a voice. You can talk all you want. You can, tell people how bad things are and how you don't have a job, but if you don't go and vote and make your voice heard,
nobody's going to know. And you find out who supports your ideas, and those are the people you want to be in office working for you.
And that's a good point. People with disabilities need to be educated consumers. It's not just voting. Voting is important for sure. You should vote, but it's educating yourself about the issues. If the person you just voted for is the kind of person that next week is going to cut your Social Security check, and that's what gets you by every month. I don't know if that's the person you wanted to vote for, or if the person, or if the person you voted for says, well, I don't think people with disabilities should be working. Did you want to pull that lever? So, with today's, computers and everything else, there's no reason why people shouldn't be educated about who they vote for.
Exactly.
It's important.
It is very important that we find out who's out there that's supporting our ideas, our ideals in life, and the things that we need, and make sure they're there to help us to perform the activities that we want to do. Because sometimes people are making decisions of your own life, and especially people in his situation, we need that support out there, people who are going to help us get by some of these loopholes and some of these situations that give us a lot of obstacles. So it's good what you're doing and working with somebody who basically has our situation in their mind, because it's been a long time since we really find someone in office or in a position to make decisions that can help us, and not make decisions for us, but make decisions that we know that we need for each other.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's another good point. It's sometimes we elect people who go in there and just make decisions regardless of whether or not we're here or not. So, we should be consulted on a lot of issues that affect us. You as a person with a disability should know, what's going to work for you or what's not going to work for you. Someone who's never even, been around anyone with a disability, shouldn't be making a decision for you. So, it's really important, really. And, I think it's really important for us as people with disabilities and the families to be educated, be out there. And when you see something wrong, say it's wrong. Don't sit back and make believe.
Yeah, you can say something.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of parking lots during last winter, the handicap section full of snow. And this man sent me information that says it's illegal. It's illegal for any business to have snow in a handicap parking lot. The plows bring all the snow to our parking. So I don't understand how, if it's illegal, but they might not know. And that's a lot of things. People don't know that this is illegal that's going on in their place of business, so they need people like us. They need advocates to come there with this information and say the snow inside of the parking lot, it's illegal.
Well, ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Right.
So, if I got pulled over for speeding and I say, well, I didn't know I couldn't speed here, I'm still going to get a ticket.
Exactly.
So, it's like I didn't know I couldn't put snow there. They should still get fined. They could get fined. I think it's like $250. Maybe it's gone up to $500. And that law was passed by advocates with disabilities, who pushed for that law, who said, they were tired of people doing exactly that. So, if you don't have any place to put your snow, you better think twice before doing it nowadays, because, if you go out there, you can say, hey, I'm going to call the cops, we're going to write a complaint, and you're going to get fined.
Right.
So
have it plowed in the next day or two.
I mean, hey, the way I see it, when I go to the mall, my money's just as green as everybody else's.
Exactly.
So if I can't park in a place, I can't get into your mall, you just lost money.
Welcome back to I Believe TV. Javier, please tell us some of the other things that you're working on or that you've worked on that you want people to know about.
Okay. Well, I guess one of the things that maybe some people don't know about me is that I do artwork, I do photography, I do collages and stuff. This year, I was fortunate enough to have my stuff exhibited at the Paper Mill Playhouse um,
That's great.
right here in New Jersey. So, I'm going to be working on doing a online portfolio as well of my stuff. So,
Yeah. So
I do a lot of stuff. And one of the things that I do want to do this year too, and I think I spoke to you about, is if anyone with a disability is interested, I'm going to be doing a photo project, for people with disabilities, but it's going to be sort of, you know, I would have to interview the people and everything, because people have to feel comfortable, in terms of the way I represent them and
Right.
stuff like that in art. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that, hopefully within the next 3 months. So we'll see.
So if folks want to get some of these photos and things taken care of, how could they contact you?
Oh, sure. They can contact me either through my email, which is disabled, just like my website, which is THISABLE as in E and then D as in David
Okay.
at gmail.com. They could contact me that way. My Twitter, they can always contact me if they have Twitter.
Okay.
My Twitter address is at, and then again, THISABLED, as is my website. And my website, unfortunately, I haven't had much of a chance to do a lot with it the past few months, but, hopefully I can get back there and add some more stuff.
Okay. That'll be
Yeah.
good. That'll be
Oh,
good.
also, I'm not sure when this is coming out, but
Uh-huh.
this October there's going to be an employment conference at Kessler, sorry,
Okay.
for people with disabilities,
And
and
they need to know about
I
that.
believe it's, I want to say like October 20th or something. I can
Okay.
double check.
Okay.
Um, but people are interested. They can just call Kessler up, or they
This
can,
is so
or
people.
they can call me or email me.
This is so people with disabilities can find some employment and stuff, right?
It's like an educational conference, so
Uh-huh.
it's going to be talking about, well, how do you find employment? How do
Okay.
you, what do you do? How do you do resumes? Like different skills. There's going to be employers there. There's going to be people with disabilities there talking. I'm going to be one of the speakers. Um, so a lot going on in October anyway for people with disabilities.
Isn't that Disability Awareness Month as well?
Yeah, and Employment Awareness Month.
Yeah, October. Yes, that's good. That's cool. Javier, please tell us about social media that we discussed before, and let them know about what you're doing with that.
Sure. Well, I have a pretty sizable Twitter follower since I've been on Twitter maybe for about 4 years now, almost since they started. And I do a lot of advocacy through Twitter by, posting information to individuals with disabilities and Latinos.
Right.
I have a lot of Latinos and a lot of followers who have disabilities. So, basically my involvement is more like, giving them information they can use to empower themselves. And people can use social media like Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, whatever. Instead of just using it to take pictures and post pictures, they can use it to actually um,
Promote
make
things.
make a difference in the lives of other people and
Right.
maybe like
And in their
share
own lives.
resources. So you share a lot of resources on Facebook and
Yeah.
Twitter
And I
and
do a
stuff.
whole
So
lot of different things on my Facebook.
yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
more people should think, well, how can I use these tools to like make it better for myself and other people,
Right.
as to as opposed to how can I use these tools to just put a like on somebody's photo or
Yeah.
share gossip or stuff like that.
Now, how did you build your audience?
One person at a time.
One person
Yeah.
at a time.
No, I mean I build my audience basically through the stuff I put out.
Right.
Like if you put out garbage, you're gonna get garbage, and people aren't gonna. And if you're the kind of person, like especially on Twitter, that you just sit there and blast people or gossip about people,
Right.
or You know, the only reason you're there is to make other people's lives hell.
Right.
You know, they have the option of just hitting unfollow and that's it. You know, you lose the follower. And
Right.
you know, that doesn't mean that I don't say things that are controversial or that I don't,
Right.
you know, have some controversial views in terms of like what they think. They're not controversial in terms of what I think, but
Okay.
you know, there's some people who will unfollow me if, you know, I say something that's pro-immigrant or if I say something that, you know, they don't like, and you know, there's nothing I could do about that. But
I mean, it's your opinion,
yeah, you know, and people with disabilities
should be
not
able
be
to say
scared
what's
to
on our
give their
mind too.
opinion. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, if you have an opinion and you think that your opinion is something you should share, then you know
Yeah, let it be known.
that's your right. So
So he wants you to use social media more than just seeing what's out there, but maybe sharing what's in your life as well, and finding out who's doing the things that you like to do and becoming their friend, and building a bigger audience amongst each other, or collaborating and working. Because I definitely know social media. I collaborated with people in Germany and UK because of music, of doing songs. I have a song with 7 different artists on there, and we all from different areas all over the world because social media. You don't have to be going to someone's house. You can send them the track. They put their verse. They send it to another artist, and then you have your producer or engineer, whoever's basically doing the track themselves, and you have a song out there. So I definitely met a lot of people from Germany and the UK that's basically really into hip hop.
so you use your outlet to get what you wanted.
Right.
They use that same outlet to get what they wanted,
Yeah.
and they got to work with somebody who had a disability. You got to work with other people who have disabilities. You know, I know you work with Crip Hop, right?
Yeah, that's
In
what I was about to
California.
mention. Crip hip hop.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I've met them before.
Yeah,
You know,
Leroy Moore.
yeah, I've met Leroy in
Yeah.
California, and you know, I mean that, you know, again, it's another way for people to not only get together, but you know, like share resources and
Right.
stuff like that.
You have talent. Just because you're disabled don't mean you don't have a talent, and just because you are disabled and have talent don't mean there's not anyone else out there you can work with, collaborate, and also get your music out there too. So definitely, social media is definitely a powerful tool to get yourself out there, and you'd be surprised. A lot of people were like, "Wow," Sometimes people say that about me. Say, "I didn't even know you were paralyzed," and like you have to be able to use these tools to show the world. Just cause you disabled don't mean you can't rap or can't talk or you can't write, draw like he does the photography. So just cause you're disabled, we do a lot of different things people do that aren't disabled, but we do it in a different way. And you also can collaborate. Like he has different gadgets he puts on his chair, how he does his photography, and that's how I learned how to do photography and video on my own as well. Different gadgets, different things. So reach out to the community, reach out to people. Javier, contact him. I'm telling you, he has all the different information you need. I definitely know he changed my life when I met him. I'm doing a lot of different things, and even when I said earlier about just getting out my house, that was a big stepping stone. I had an obstacle I had to cross, and this man right here helped me do that. What other sources of social media is out there that people can use?
A really good website, if people haven't been on, it's called LinkedIn. You could create a free profile on LinkedIn, and basically, if you're looking for an internship or if you're looking to, you know, eventually work somewhere, maybe you're going to school or something, it's good to create a network of employers and people that, you know about what you want to get into eventually in terms of a job. So if you're looking for employment, really good website, create a profile, and then there it's really good to make friends and things like that, because you're actually making friends with people who may eventually become your employers, or whom you may eventually be working with. So that's good for employment for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook, um, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, but LinkedIn is definitely very professional,
Yeah,
and people, they when they become your friend and they look at the work you do and they endorse you. This is a thing they call endorse, which brings your level of being able to communicate with others in the same field out there, because they're endorsing this work you do. So it becomes more aware of what's going on in the work that you do.
that's true.
Yeah.
And also, on LinkedIn you can find different groups. On LinkedIn, I'm in a beekeeping group, which I guess I didn't talk about yet. So I'm in a beekeeping group. I'm in a few groups that have to do with disabilities. I'm in a few groups that have to do with Latino issues. Um, so.
Tell us about this bee, because since I'm at your house, we're going to get a little bit of footage of that.
Oh, okay.
So please tell them about this bee thing going on that you got in your backyard.
You like the bees?
I'm scared of them, but they made some delicious honey.
Oh, okay.
Got the taste today. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
thanks, bees.
Um, well, yeah. I started beekeeping maybe like 2 years ago, and I do beekeeping, of course, with the help of other people. My daughter Maya, my nephew Carlos, my wife Amy. They all help me with the beekeeping, and I also work with a group at Rutgers, and they work in a community garden. So they also help me, but basically, I'll sit there and I'll give instructions in terms of what needs to be done. Bees are important for our environment. They're important for, a lot of things. They pollinate. I think it's over 60% of the fruits and vegetables that you eat. So, there's a problem with bees dying off at a high rate. So if bees die and continue to die, and there's no way to save them because we're not doing anything about it, then, your average person is going to be paying, $6 or $7 for one. 2014 Abilities Expo. I'm here with a wonderful friend, Erica Bogan. We're here with MV1. I have one. She sells them. Erica, please tell them about the MV1 and how they can find it.
So the MV1 stands for Mobility Vehicle 1. It is the very first fully accessible vehicle that's built from the ground up. We like to say purpose-built. It's built with a purpose to be universally designed so anybody can use it. You can actually go to our website, which is www.mv1-1.us. There's dealer locator. You can find out where the nearest dealer is to you.
Now everybody asks, who makes them, Like they don't see Ford, Nissan, Cadillac, they don't see nothing, no emblem that resembles anything that they've been buying through the years. So who actually makes the MV1?
So the MV1 is made by Mobility Ventures, which is a subsidiary of AM General. AM General you might be familiar with. They're the makers of the Humvee and the H2 Hummer. These are actually built in the former facility that the H2 Hummers were also built in.
That's Mishawaka, Indiana.
Mishawaka, Indiana, that's correct. So these are fully made in America.
American made.
Very proud of that.
Yeah, so check them out. They're good. I have had one since 2011, and it's done wonders for me. Didn't have any problems, except maybe what I need gas, my oil change, regular stuff that you need to do. But otherwise, it's got purpose. It's purpose built, and it fulfills your purpose. So check them out.
One of the greatest things too that I want to add that we were actually able to do. So X and I were able to go out to dinner together for the very first times of our years-long friendship because of the MV1. We were able to both get our chairs in the vehicle and ride together to go out.
A lot of room.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of room. Can actually fit 3 manual chairs in there.
Yeah.
So it's a great car. So check them out. Thanks, Erica.
No problem. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
2014 Billy's Expo, High Rollers.